Hello, and welcome to Tier Makers with Jordan. I don't know whether it's going to be called that. Jordan's Tier Makers, music with Jordan, and he makes tiers, something like that. We've not figured out the name. We've not figured out the name of the channel yet. But what am I doing? What are we going to do today? So, I consume a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of gamers. I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff. And I just want to get involved. It's all good at consuming it, but I just want to start putting out a bit of content and have a bit of fun. I thought about doing games, but I don't think that I can sit and talk about a game for hours. I just don't think I have enough banter for it. I don't know. But what can I do? Well, I like music. I know quite a bit about music. I mean, I'm a songwriter in my own right in some respect. I've done a couple of albums in the past, so I like to think I know a little bit about songwriting too. And I thought, what would be good actually? I'll put a little tier list together, and we'll just talk about albums and sort of rank the songs on the album. And we're going to do that today with Abbey Road. I don't know whether you could tell from some of these pictures. Maybe that one was a giveaway. There's a picture of a sun there. That's Here Comes the Sun. You got Paul McCartney and the Beatles. I think it might have taken a while. You probably figured that one out. She came in through the bathroom window. What am I talking about? This one's the giveaway, isn't it? I mean, that's the classic come together video that was made on YouTube, as we're talking about. But yeah, how are we gonna do it? So, S tier slaps. That's like an album-defining song, a song that fits on the album really well, and it's like one of the best songs on the album. It's gonna slap. Bangers are just good songs. They deserve to be on the album, and they're good songs in their own right. Fillers are, you don't need to explain this. A filler's just a song that keeps the album sort of chunking along, and it doesn't really add to it too much. And then trash is, just rubbish songs. And I'll tell you ahead of time, Abbey Road is an album of two halves, and the first half is absolutely sensational, and I'd be more than likely to be putting all those songs up here. The second half, the medley, just tell you now, this is my opinion. Don't take this as a cold fact. This isn't the be all and end all, but I don't really like the medley that much. And if you disagree with where I put some of these songs, then absolutely let me know. But I don't know. It's never really worked well for me. But as we go through it, we'll figure out what goes where and why it goes there, in my mind. And obviously, just tell me what you think in the comments, and we can have a little discussion about it. Absolutely. So, where do we start? We start with Come Together, because that's the first song on the album. Come Together slaps, doesn't it? It's like, as the opener, you straight away know, it's going to be a cool album. Think about, Paul's bass, it's such a simple but cool bass line. Boom, 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 boom. Interestingly, I think it was one of the first songs I learned on bass. I feel like it's a song that most people new to bass, sort of, if you're into your 60s music anyway, that you look at and go, I need to learn that. I think what I did is, I think what a lot of people do is they learn it as a slide. So it's boom, 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 boom. But it's not in the song. It's actually, he sort of trills down the top string. It's a boom, 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 boom. And I remember that being real hard to learn. Quite a little skill that he's put into that. That's one of the things I thought about the album is that the kind of, I'm already talking about the album as a whole. I'm not even 10 seconds into thinking about the whole song, but they're all at the top of their game, aren't they, really? And to an extent, they're probably... I'm just taking my shoes off here. You might hear a little bit of ruffling around. I just thought, man, my shoes have been on all day. Let's get these off. But, they're on the top of their game here, and I think some of these songs are quite showy. They're sort of saying, look how good we are now. We've been doing this for, 10, 12 years. I'm going to show you, we're good at what we do. And it's just little things like that in the album. That little trill down the bass is cool. You've got Ringo, and it's kind of the opposite of skill, but it's so stylish, is that, you've got along with the bass, you've got the drums that are doing, these proper intricate little, I've done that completely wrong. I've just made that up in my head. But he has these little intricate trills, and then when it gets to the verses where John Lennon's singing, it's just that it's the big drum knee, your knee, right knee. I can't remember what it's called, just big something, and all he's doing is going boom, 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 boom. Here come on flat top, here come on grooving. I remember watching like a little it was like a clickbait YouTube Facebook thing talking about Ringo Starr as a drummer and your sort of substance he brings to the Beatles and what's good about him. And all these drummers, I think it was Dave Grohl who actually said like no one could do that bit, as part of a drumming for a song and pull it off the way that Ringo does, just hitting that big right knee drum, I'm going to call it the right knee drum, just hitting it, on a 4/4 and not really thinking about it. It's cool. What is even a 2/4, 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4/4. It's smart, isn't it? It's just a really cool song. I really think that's the way to say this. So I really enjoy lyrics. I like to listen to a song that's got a narrative that's built around the lyrics and a story or a feeling or an emotion or anything like that. And I'll probably learn a lot about myself doing these tier lists, because I'll kind of figure out what I actually appreciate most about songs and music and stuff like that and lyrics. But the lyrics in this song don't really mean anything at all, do they? I think it's about the band, isn't it? As far as I'm aware, it's John Lennon talking about all the other three Beatles in a weird way, and just saying, come together over me, be part of the band with me or something. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. We don't want to be spreading misinformation on the channel, but I'm sure that's what I've read years ago, 10 years ago or something. And it's cool, but the lyrics don't really mean anything when you listen to them. It's like, here come on for that top, here come grooving up slowly. He got juju eyeball. It's like, I'm not sitting there going, wow, this is it's like deep and profound, isn't it? I'm thinking, man, that doesn't mean anything at all. He just, I think John Lennon, he said in an interview, or he said to some sort of reporter, that when I write a song, or especially towards the end of his career, it was less about what the actual words mean together, but what they sound like together and like the flow of the words. And I feel like he's experimenting here with that idea. It is cool. It's definitely smart, isn't it? It's a good opener. It's such a good opener. It's cool. It's chill, and you listen to it for 3 minutes and you go, yeah, it's going to be a good album. This, straight away, it's going to be a great album. What is next? Something in the way she moves me. I don't want to leave her now. I believe in how. It's the best song on the album, isn't it? I don't think there's much doubt to that. In my eyes, anyway. It's just like George Harrison's so good in this album. I'm probably going to fall back on this a few times in the video, but George Harrison really just does so much. He comes out of the traps on this one. There's just something about it, isn't there? Like, it's one of the... Now, let's take it back a minute. It's one of the best love songs the Beatles ever wrote. And I'd give it that for sure. And it's written by George. It's written by sort of the quiet Beatle who hasn't really... but he's like at the forefront of this album, doing everything better than anyone else. I just love the way it it's like the verses are so reflective in the way that the lyrics go. It's like something in the way she moves me. I don't want to leave her now. I believe in how. And he's obviously speaking to himself or a friend or something like that, and he's discussing this girl that's in his life. And then he gets to the chorus, and it's more like a direct, like he's speaking now to the girl, like, you're telling me that my love grow. No, 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 I don't know. Stick around and it may show. And it's just got more energy, and it's kind of like, you got that first bit of the verse that's dead reflective and calm, and then you've got the more energetic, like, I'm with her now, I'm trying to tell her how much I like her and stuff. And it's just got a really good balance and a movement to it. And obviously George is just one of the nicer singers, isn't he? I think he's got a better voice than Paul in ways. I think it's more unique, like in the way that John's voice is. Like you listen to John, you go, "Oh, that's John Lennon." Paul doesn't really have like a distinct tone to his voice, but he's just a good singer. And I think George does have like sort of a distinct tone for sure. Man, it's just such a nice song, isn't it? Something. And the guitar work as well. And the little effects on it. It's cool, man. It's such a good song. But yeah, for me, I think it's the best song on the album. I mean, that might change as we move forward with this, but it's just George, man. He's so good on the album. What are we doing? So, what have we got next? MSH. I've written MSH. What would that be? I tell you what, it was me, Mr. Mustard, was throwing me off. It's Maxwell Silverhammer. Man, like, I just proper want to put it there, but nah, I don't know. It's okay. Let's talk about Maxwell Silverhammer a bit. It's like, why? I just feel like I don't like it, but I don't know why. No, I do like it. Like when it's on, I nod my head and I tap my feet and I think, man, it's a cool song. Like, but it's just the ideas kind of clash for me. It's a song about like a murderer going around killing innocent people with a hammer. And I mean, let's take it back a minute. Like the actual construction of the melody and stuff is so good. It's like one of the best melodies on. I wouldn't say it's one of the best melodies on the album, but I mean, let's run it through. So it's like dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. And you follow that line, and it's like, hey, this is fun, man. This is a fun melody, isn't it? And it's like got a little bit of a, don't know, just kind of an oldies vibe to it. And it's like dun 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 bum 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 bum. It's just like energy, isn't it? It's got a lot of energy. It's fun. It moves. But then the lyrics are like this guy killing people, and I just feel like it's Paul McCartney. He's like on the back of doing, Sergeant Pepper, and is it Sergeant Pepper then this, or there's another one, isn't there? Let's just check. Fact check. Let's fact check that. I was gonna write fact check. So it's Beatles albums in order. There's gonna be so many singles like lying around. It's gonna take ages. So it is Sergeant Pepper. Then it's the magical mystery to it. It's the White Album, and then it's Abbey Road. I thought so. And obviously Yellow Submarine. I don't know. I don't count that as like a full album, but you got Sergeant Pepper, White Album, then Abbey Road, and then I have no idea what this is. What in the world is a Doll's House? I must have been on it because it was purple. Like, man, what? That's so weird. Look at Ringo's like hand, man. It looks so weird. What is it? It's just, I don't know. It's like a prelude or afterthought of the White Album, I think. Man, Oba Di Oba Da is like one of the worst Beatles songs. What was the point I was saying? Yeah, they're off the back of kind of like Sgt. Pepper and the White Album, and they're on like a creative high. And Paul McCartney's gone, alright, dead like fun upbeat song about a savage murderer. And as far as I read a while back, is that I think he wanted this to be like the song, he wanted this to be the hit of the album, and it just didn't really stick, and with good measure really, because I don't know, I just don't know whether I like the song. I never have, and this is what I mean. I've popped it and banged it because it's certainly not a filler, is it? I mean, it's not a filler song, but it's certainly not. It's gonna be low end a banger for me. This, it's just a fun song. Maybe I just don't get it. But I don't know. We'll see where it ends. I mean, I played a bit with this tier list a week ago just to see what kind of where I was going to put things. But, you know, without speed, I just sort of whacked everything in its place and went, oh, that looks okay. And I originally put it here, but, you know, now that I've kind of thought about it, it is a banger. Yeah, I enjoy it. I think people enjoy the song. I just don't think it's as good. It's not as good as it thinks it is it? Fucking... Okay. Oh, darling, believe me. Yeah, it's better than Maxwell Silver Hammer. That's going to become a trope for this video. Better than Maxwell Silver Hammer. Maybe a trope for this whole channel. Man, yeah, cool picture of Paul there rocking out. Yeah, I don't think it slaps. I think, you know, it's Paul doing a really cool, like, blues song, and he's kind of taking the idea a lot of their love songs, you know. I love you, you love me. What's that? That's Barney. I love you, you love me. Na, 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 na. But, you know, he's taken it and said, oh, let's do a song, guys, where we say how much we love this girl, but let's, like, do it aggressively and scary. And, you know, it kind of pulls off. Paul's singing in this, man, as well. Like, he really gives it, doesn't he, in this song? And, again, it's kind of like John really gives it in She's So Heavy as well. That's kind of like a bit of back and forth between. Saying that, Paul gives it again, actually, in, is it Golden Slumbers? Golden Slumbers in your eyes. I don't know, it feels like he's obviously pushing himself to the biggest vocal he can, and that could have really gone badly. I mean, that could have just sounded silly, but he pulls it off, as does John in the ones that he goes for it in. But, you know, it's a good song. The bass is good. The backing vocals are good. It's just like it's a really good, like, decent song. And I think, I don't know, like, going back to what we were saying before about, like, they're off the back of this creative process, and, you know, Paul's messing around with ideas and he's saying, oh, I'll do the song about a murderer and make it dead fun and that. He's pulling songs out of his, like, arse at this point, and he's going, you tell you what, that's not the right way to say that, because that's me saying that the songs are shit. They're not shit. He's pulling songs out of thin air. You know, he's just sat down and gone, you know, I'm just going to do, please listen to this blues album. And gone, oh, I want to do a really, like, passionate blues song. And he's just written it in, like, a night or two, and then took it into the studio and perfected it. But, like, I think that's at the point they're out on this album. They just can't really go wrong. They can pull these songs out of nowhere and make them work. Apart from Maxwell Silver Hammer. Apart from that one. Apart from that song there. No, I'm joking. I need to stop being mean about Maxwell Silver Hammer. I take it too far. Octopuses Garden is... man, I want to put it in slaps. You're going to put it in banger. For now, when we get towards the end, we'll kind of start reviewing where we're at with this and start thinking about everything's placement. But Octopuses Garden, I was going to call it Octopuses Silver Garden. Then. Octopuses Garden, it's like, it's good, isn't it? It's really fun. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. Yeah, like the sound effect of the bubbles and stuff like that. You just, like, George Martin must have at this point some decent contacts in film and TV. And just imagining calling people like, oh man, you know, can I get some sounds of bubbles? Anyone selling bubbles around here? And they're like, yeah, we got them for you, George. Although he could probably make them himself, unless, you know, I'm not saying George has to, like, buy his own, buy stuff to put in the Beatles songs. I'm sure I could make the sound of bubbles if I show off. I could make the sound of bubbles if I wanted to. I'm sure George Martin can. It's cool. Like I like the little bits and bobs like that in these songs. George Martin's such a good producer. You know, and there's a bit as well. You've got the sound of actual bubbles, but you use as kind of like to show that they're under the water and stuff. But then there's like an audio. There's like an audio effect that he's put together over John's backing vocal. I think it's during the chorus, so the guitar's playing along. And you've got John do an ooh and an ah from left. I remember listening to it in headphones years ago when I was on some Class C drugs. Probably Class B now, to be fair. But I was just listening to it, and it went from the full left to the full right. And it's like John Lennon doing like ah, but with like it's just like shaking, and it sounds like bubbles. It's like ah. Oh my god, that was horrible. Ah, and then it's just moving across. Goes full left to full right, from right to full left again. It just sounds like dead cool. It sent me west anyway. It's like really, really smart idea. But yeah, okay, so the song in general. So you think, you hear like the phrase, Ringo song, it strikes fear into your heart. No, I'm only joking. It's not that bad. The reason I throw them, I think like that, is that the one song I always think back to that's entirely supposed to be Ringo's is that I can hear your footsteps coming up the drive. I can hear your footsteps, but they don't arrive. On my old front door, I can't. It's just rubbish, man. It's like the worst song. I think it's on the White Album. It's definitely the worst song on the White Album. If I do, when I do a tier list of the White Album, because I certainly will want to, that's probably going to be the bottom. It's really going to be the bottom song on that one. But yeah, when you hear the phrase like Ringo start a song, you just think, man, it could be a hit or miss. And this one's just a massive hit, isn't it? It's really good. I'm sure I've heard or read or something that George Harrison actually had quite a lot to do with it too, which I'd like to think it sounds like George or any of them could have really had a bigger part in it, because it's one of the better songs on the album. But it's one of those, like, I just don't know whether Ringo, when he was writing this, was thinking like, was he in the moment thinking, I'm writing such an ethereal, fun song, it's not really about anything, but the lyrics are so well put together that you can take what you want from it? Or was he just thinking, should we have a song for kids on the album? Yeah, like he's been listening to a bit of Peter, Paul and Mary. I think they put one kids song on every album. I love Peter, Paul and Mary. I'm gonna have to do one of these for them as well. What's that album with Leaving on a Jet Plane on it? What's it called? I can't remember. I'll do that one. I need to know what that's called. Leaving on a Jet Plane album. Leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Not John Denver, man. Peter, Paul, and Mary. And it's on. Yeah, it's album 1700. Oh, no, don't play it. Get the video get taken down. But yeah, I don't know whether he was just like, let's write a song for kids on this one, I'll have a little kids song about Octopuses Garden. And just imagine like Paul and John just in a pub, and Ringo's like, just thinking I've got a really good idea for a song. And he's like, yeah man, what is it? It's like, just do a song about like an octopus. He's got like a house and a garden and that, and then all of us, like me, John, and George, we all like go to the garden and just sit there and like have fun and do activities and stuff. And Paul's just like, what's that Family Guy thing? I wrote a song, guys. Oh, well done, Ringo. We'll put this right on the fridge, right where everyone can see it. Just imagine him just like, yeah, go on then, Ringo, just go and write that song. And it actually comes out like really good. I mean, for me, it's better than the two songs that Paul wrote. So yeah, I think it's a good song. It's just a fun, good song. Better than Maxwell Silverhammer, I'll give it that. I want you, I want you so bad. Tell you what, that's gonna get boring quick, isn't it? Me singing the first line of every damn song. She's so heavy. I was wondering where this picture was. I put it here. I think it's really good. Please let me know if there's a way that I can actually listen to these songs. Do I have to put at the start of the video or over, like, I don't know, watermark the video saying that this is a critique, please don't demonetize or take my video down or something? Because I don't know how it will work. I just don't want to be making these videos. I'll put like 3 out and they all get taken down because I'm listening to the music on it. Because ideally I just have my phone here, and when I want to show you something, I'll pop, I'll just play 20-second little bit of the song. But I just don't want to do this whole thing and have it taken down and do it again. So let me know in the comments how I can do stuff about that and what I can and can't get away with. If not, I'll just have to keep singing the first line of every song and keep trying to make my voice do things that it simply can't do, like underwater bubble backing vocals that John Lennon did on Octopuses Garden. I know you might find it funny to listen to me do rubbish like that. She's So Heavy, man. I think this is such a good song. Like, so it's a proper simple idea, but it's just really well done. So all it is that really brings me into it is like it's the first half of the song basically, is that John's doing his vocal, and the guitar line is doing the melody, and that's all it really is for the majority of the song. And obviously you got little bits and bobs going on in the background, but the main like point of the song is to listen to John sing, and the guitar do the harmony. So he's going, I want you, and the guitar's going like bow 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 bow, and it's like cool, and that proper smart idea. But they've done it so well. They've gone, yeah, we're gonna do this, but we'll do it in like proper like jazzy, like upbeat, like not upbeat, like up tempo way, and it's dead smart. I just really like the way the whole thing sounds. And again, we were talking before about like lyrics. I really rate lyrics and storytelling, and it's confusing me that I'm putting these John Lennon songs so high up on this album, on this tier list, because the lyrics in these songs don't really, again, they don't, I don't say they don't mean anything. They probably mean something to them, but they're not easily sort of taken in, and you can figure out what they're about. You know, you have to sit and think a while and consider it, which is what I'm not doing. I'm just, in this song in particular, She's So Heavy. I think there's like 11 words in the whole song. I want you so bad, you're driving me mad. That's 8 words. She's so heavy. Yeah, no, it's 11 words. I was a guess that 11 words. Yeah, it's 11 words, I'm sure. That's one of the things I was saying before. I consider myself somewhat of a songwriter. Not that much anymore. I haven't wrote a song in years now, but I had like sort of I had sort of a prolific 3 or 4 years when I was a bit younger, where I recorded a couple of albums and got them out. And I used to get so twisted up about like lyrics. I'd spend days and days perfecting these bits of lyrics and thinking the song is nothing without the lyrics. And John Lennon's out here putting 11 words on a piece of paper and going, right, let's write a 6-minute song around this. So it makes you think, doesn't it? You can really, there's so many ways to write a song, and John Lennon's sort of experimenting with a lot of different things here. He's doing it really well, and that's only I've only talked about sort of the first half of the song here. The chorus is so cool, and it's like, it's emotive, isn't it? It's got so much levity to that guitar. Bow, 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 bow. It's actually like scary. It's like a scary riff. You could imagine it in a film. Like trying to think of something that would fit. What did I watch recently? I rewatched Seven with Brad Pitt and is it Kevin Spacey? Brad Pitt and Kevin Spacey. Seven. It's about the seven deadly sins, and there's like a murder going around, making a point out of it. And at the end, Brad Pitt finds his wife's head in a box. This guy has cut his wife's head off or something. And just imagine when the box opens and he sees his wife's head, and it just goes like bow, 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 bow. I don't feel out of place. It's cool. It's such a cool riff, that, and it just sounds so heavy and so. Maybe that's what the song is about. I don't know before about. I don't know what the song is. She is the song. The riff. She is so heavy. I'll tell you what, I'm a genius. Figured it out. Absolutely figured it out. Song's about itself. No, I'm joking. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's cool. And then and just to add to it, again, it's just George Martin's getting involved here. It's like the hiss at the end, and I think I know this. Let me know if I'm wrong. We don't spread misinformation on this channel. But the hiss at the end that comes in and sort of just gets louder and louder, that's the actual sound that the machine makes, the audio machine or the tape deck or whatever it is that they're using to record bits of these songs, or this song in particular, is starting to corrupt. You know, George is going, John, you're gonna have to like cut it here. The deck's getting full. You can hear it breaking. And John's like, why would they turn it off? Why would you stop it? Why would you get rid of that hiss sound? Why don't we just leave it in the song? George's like, yeah, okay, like rubbing his eyes, like, yeah, okay, man, yeah, we'll do that. Whatever you say. And he just pulls it off again. He just pulls off a proper clever little idea. It fits well. I like the way that it just ends as well. It's like, bam, bam. And it's just out of nowhere. I think it's one of the better songs on the album for sure. John Lennon's on his game here, John and George are the guys on this album. I think Paul kind of used all his energy on Sgt. Pepper because he's the guy on that album. I'm sure he was sort of the leading force through all of that. I remember reading John was like, I wasn't asked about the whole Sgt. Pepper pretend to be a new band thing. I just wanted to do my 3 songs and get out of the studio. But Paul was all in on that project. It's cool. Alright, so we've got 3 for 3 now on each row. I think we're in a good place here. I think that's still, for me, best song on the album. That's definitely good. We might have to consider their positionings here, because, Come Together is just so Abbey Road. I Want You, She's So Heavy is good. This picture, man, I don't know why I picked that picture. I just couldn't think of a way to show She's So Heavy than someone just carrying, like, a larger woman. But yeah, this could, we'll think about it later, but that's probably does deserve to be higher than that. I just personally really like She's So Heavy, but I think that Come Together probably is a better song all round. But yeah, at the halfway point, Maxwell Silverhammer, dead last as it should be. Shall I go and start laughing my head off at this silly joke? Here Comes the Sun. George Harrison, top of his game, isn't he? Yeah, I just like the second best song on the album, isn't it? Is it the most recognisable song on the album? Maybe behind Come Together. But it's just so good. The like riff is so nice. Again, that's simple, but like really effective. That's an idea. I could really just get my guitar out and just learn these bits and bobs that I want to do on the instruments anyway. I think about doing that in future videos. Just want to get this first one out of the way and see if it's sort of enjoyed. But yeah, Here Comes the Sun. It's just, and then when his vocals come in, it's just such a delicate. So I was talking about before about them having their sort of unique vocal qualities. George Harrison's voice in this is so recognisable. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. And he's just like, man, that's such a delicate, nice voice. And it's like, I don't know if you'd call it a trope, but the theme, it's quite simple. It's just, the winter, and the winter sort of dictates not being in love, being alone, being, maybe a bit sad about it all. And then it moves into spring and summer and how it's more happy. You've got love in your life again. It's a proper simple theme, and it's probably been used across different sort of literature and poetry and film and all that. But it's just the Beatles taking that idea and going, let's take the winter sadness, summer happiness theme and just make a nice little song about it. In particular, George saying, let me make a nice song about it, because I'm the guy who's writing about, I'm the guy writing the best love songs now. I'm sure there was a critic that said it's less of it. It's not a dig at Paul and John, but more, putting praise on George Harrison when you listen to Something, or it might be Here Comes the Sun, one of these two, and he was just like, no, I think it's Something. It was like, Something's the best Something is the best McCartney and Lennon song so far. Which is cool. I bet that was cool for George to sit there and read and go, sort of lick his finger and brush it across his eyebrow, look at the boys, be like, yeah, I'm the guy now. So yeah, George Harrison's just amazing on this album, isn't he? Guitar's great, singing's great on Here Comes the Sun, and then you've got just the instrumentation. You've got the bit where I'm saying, but heaping all this praise on George Harrison. The other Beatles obviously had parts in the song and did their bits and that, but I think it's best to just give it to the person who wrote it and say, that's his song, I suppose. I'm just gonna have a bit of my water here, but yeah, it's just really nice, isn't it? The instrumentation when it gets to that that bit where it's building up. Dun dun dun, sun, 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 here it comes. Dun 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 dun, sun, sun, sun. And I like that every time it builds up, there's sort of a new instrument added. It's just basic, like, songwriting trope sort of thing. I just add another instrument, we'll add another instrument, and it'll sort of sound better and better. And it does, you know, they've got this, like, they're messing with synths a lot in this album. I noticed, especially towards the end of the album, you'll hear more synthy stuff. I can't say synth and stuff at the same time. So you'll hear more synthy stuff as we go along, but there's this really cool one that's like, the synth comes in, goes like, wow, 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 and it sounds cool. And then they do it a second time, but they add like this weird, like, flangey kind of effect. You call it a flange now, I don't know what they called it back then. This like sort of shuddery effect to it, and it's like, I honestly can't do it with my voice. It needs to be having the Spotify on my phone here, and we can listen to it. But listen to it. Pause the video for 30 seconds and skip to, I don't know, a minute 40 possibly, and have a listen to that, because it's really cool. Because the world is round, it turns me on. I think it's better than, I think it fits there. I think that's probably right, isn't it? Okay, what do I like about Because? I'm sorry you have to listen to my voice sing these opening lines. It's really bad. I mean, I'm not actually this bad of a singer. If you go and listen to my music on my channel, which I'll put in the description, if you want to go and give me a taste of my own medicine, go listen to my music and tell me how shit it all is. If you want to go listen to that, sure. I do not sing this bad in those. You know, I've crafted them a little better than me just sat in a room trying to replicate Beatles harmonies on my own. But Because it's cool, isn't it? I think the story behind it was that Yoko Ono was playing something on the piano, and John was like, yo, because I'm like a genius and stuff, can you play that backwards? And she was like, yeah, alright, and she played it backwards, and John was like, I can make a song with that. I don't know if that's entirely true. Maybe John was playing it and Yoko asked him to play it backwards. That seems more believable. I don't know if Yoko can play piano. I mean, you've seen that video on the Chuck Berry thing. Man, right, okay. If you are not already aware of that video, go please look at it. Just put in like Chuck Berry, Yoko Ono into YouTube, and they're playing I think it's Johnny Be Good. And Yoko Ono's there, you know, she's allowed to play the tambourine on the song because John was like, I won't do it with you, Chuck, if you don't let my wife do whatever she wants. So Chuck's like, all right then. She's playing this tambourine, she's got a mic in front of her. For some reason, whoever the like engineer was on that set that day, really dropped the ball putting that in front of her. And she just grabs it and just screams into it midway through the song, and you can visibly see Chuck Berry just like, why in the world have you done this? And John Lennon is just super embarrassed, but he carries on playing, and it's so weird. But yeah, go watch that. I've gone well off point here, Because the world is round, it turns me on. Again, it's John Lennon, just simple vocals. You take what you want from it. But yeah, the guitar line's cool. It's obviously the backwards piano bit, but played forwards on guitar, or played in the correct way on the guitar. It's cool. It sounds nice, doesn't it? Down, 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 down. Because and it's just really good harmonies as well. There's a cover of this by Elliott Smith, which is worth a listen as well, where you think there's a lot of vocals in this. He actually replaces all the instruments with vocals too. So it's a pretty like heavy listen. That it's really good though. Elliott Smith's voice, when he really wants to pull something off, he does. That's a really good version of this. I think I prefer that version to this version, but that's not what this is about anyway. But it's cool, isn't it? The song, it's nice. It is super nice. It turns me on, girl. And it's sort of a good nod. I wouldn't call it a nod, but it's like the Beatles going, let's do like a song that's really about our vocals. We've been doing this for years now, and there are obviously other songs where they really all meld their vocals together. But this is kind of like their Only Living Boy in New York by Simon and Garfunkel, where the vocals really are just at their absolute peak. I think it's the same in this one. They've gone, let's really make the song about our vocals, and they do it really well. It's a really nice song. I wouldn't put it in slaps because I don't know why I wouldn't put it in slaps. I just like it. I like it, and definitely a lot, but it's not album defining. They've kind of done the vocals thing a lot on other albums and stuff, but these songs kind of feel so unique to this album. But yeah, I think it belongs there. Behind Octopus, in front of I can't remember what that. Oh darling. Okay. Funnily enough, I've written a whole lot about You Never Give Me Your Money, and I think what happened was I listened to this album earlier today, and I always remember You Never Give Me Your Money as being kind of like the first song in a medley. So I remember when I got to it, I thought, oh man, here we go. This is where I'm going to start writing, pretty snappy little bits about everything. We'll just crack through it real quick. But to my surprise, I listened to it today and just thought, this is so much better than I remember. And I'm giving this a high rating. It's a well good song, You Never Give Me Your Money. And I'll tell you why. It's real cool, it's got so much energy. It's kind of like a medley on its own, it kind of works. It's like the medley before the medley. And I'm going to put it in front of Because as well. I think it's Paul McCartney's best song on the album. Sorry, I think it's Paul McCartney's best song on the album. But it's just got a real nice line to it. So, first of all, straight away, the song, a lot of these songs on the album have kind of the fun little bits that are kind of very unique and interesting. This song is just very simple layout to the start of it. So I'll do the piano. What he does with his left hand, he does his normal chords, and with his right hand, he's playing the melody that it's gonna be sang in the next run, on the next verse. Sorry. So he's left-handed, so he'll be playing it with his left. Well, that was the most stupid thing I've ever seen. He's playing a piano, so it doesn't matter. So on his left hand, he's playing the chords, on the right hand, he's playing the melody. Dun 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 dun. And obviously does that. Then his vocals come in. You never give me your money, and that piano takes the back seat a bit, and he starts just playing it a little less intricate, I suppose. It's just bread and butter stuff, for to build your song to a point, and then the third section of the verse comes in, and John Lennon's vocals come in. I don't know, a bit of a brush on the drums maybe, or a bass or something, just to give it a little bit more, and they're just pushing it, and then I think it's after the third or fourth verse, you go, did a little money spent out of college, pay no rent, and then it just suddenly pops into this just new part of the song, and you're just like, oh, I didn't expect that, and it's just fun. It's just really cool. I think the idea is smart as well. It's all about sort of, and I think it's about growing into money and just sort of figuring out how it works. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But it's smart, isn't it? And the vocals are really good. And it just keeps moving. I think there's 4 or 5 different sort of bits to it. And I always remember, just weirdly, I'd even forgot that this was part of the song. I just thought it was a John Lennon ditty off White Album. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all good children go to heaven. Don't even know why I like it so much, and it pops into my head sometimes. But now I actually know it's on You Never Give Me Your Money. I thought it was a John Lennon thing on something else, but no, it's part of that song. And it's just a really cool song. Like I said, it kind of sort of says, oh, there's a medley coming soon. So peel your ears for this, and I just think it's better than the whole medley in its entirety. But yeah, it's a cool song. I think it's above Because, I Know, Darling. It's probably Paul McCartney's best song on the album. We got Sun King now. Alright. So people will probably disagree with me here. I think it's trash. I read a while ago, and I know this is wrong, so I will correct it now, is that they said, let's do Albatross in our own way. So it was kind of like they were ripping off Fleetwood Mac. And it just does it not as good. But that's not actually the truth. What the truth is that they said, one of them said, oh, let's pretend to be Fleetwood Mac. Let's have a jam as Fleetwood Mac today. And that's where the inspiration for this song come. But it's still obviously very much rooted in Albatross, which is the, if off the top of your head, if you don't know what that is, it's like M&S. The old M&S advert. It's like, wow, wow, strawberry chocolate ganache glazed with honey drizzle. And it's like, yeah, that like delicious sounding song. But yeah, it just still feels, even though that's not true, it just still feels like they're trying to do Albatross. And if the Beatles are trying to do a version of someone else's song or trying to like better it, you'd expect them to pull off, but they just don't. It just doesn't really go anywhere for me. And then the one saving grace I thought it had, I listened to it the other day and I listened to it twice. I thought I'll go back and actually proper, because I listened to it the first time, I thought I still don't like it. And so I thought I'll give it another go and just try and pick out anything. And I picked out just sort of, the Spanish lyrics near the end. Mucho esta grisa. I don't know what it is, but I thought, hey, tell you what, I bet there's something hidden in those Spanish lyrics, and I bet it's going to blow this whole thing wide open. And I looked it up, and it just doesn't mean anything at all. It's just Paul knew a couple of words in Spanish, so they kind of strung them together and added a bit of this and a bit of that, and it really doesn't translate into anything necessary at all. So yeah, I just took it again. It just kind of kicked it for me. So I just don't like Sun King, man. I just don't like it. I don't think it's good enough. I don't even think it's filler. It's just when you put Sun King against these, it's just not as good. It was originally called Here Comes the Sun King. Why in the world would you call it that when you've got a song called Here Comes the Sun? It almost takes away from Here Comes the Sun at that point. You say, oh yeah, this song is actually in some way connected to that. Don't do that. Don't ruin that song for everyone. I don't know, I'm probably being too mean about Sun King. I just don't think it's as good. I just don't think it's good enough for the Beatles or for this album. And the same goes for Mean Mr. Mustard. We've got this really mean looking mustard guy here. Now originally, when I did my first sort of run through on this and I was kind of messing around, I put this in filler alongside the other two, Polethene Pam and Bedroom Window. Oh, I've ruined it. It's spoiler. But I mean, now I've listened to it today again, I don't think it's good. It's better than Sun King. Give it that. Definitely better than Sun King. I don't even like the melody. So like, at least you'll get with the Beatles like some nice melody, some sort of good line to follow, and it's a dun 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 dun. And when you really break that down, that's all it is, isn't it? And it's just so hollow and so like, I mean, that could be the reason for it. I don't even know what the song means. Does it even mean anything? Mean Mr. Mustard. What does it mean? Let's see if there's like anything to be said about the song. I bet it has its own wiki. There we go. The song was written during the Beatles. First of all, who was it written by? Written by John. Okay. The song was written during the Beatles stay in India, and it said that there's a newspaper story about a miser who concealed, I don't know what that word means, he concealed his cash wherever he could in order to prevent people from forcing him to spend it. Man, that's like everyone now. Like, the cost of living is so high. I'm a miser. I am a miser. So a miser is a person who's reluctant to spend, sometimes to the point of foregoing even basic comforts and some necessities in order to hoard money or other possessions, although the word is sometimes used loosely to characterise anyone who is mean with their money. Yeah, well, Mr. Mustard is about me. I kind of get what it means now, I suppose. Mean Mr. Mustard sleeps in the dark, shaves in the dark. So he doesn't even like to like put the lighting on and stuff like that. That's pretty funny. It's still on my tier list though. It's not going any higher than this. Still, it's just not like, there are other ways to make a song about that. Again, it's what, 1 minute 10 maybe, and it's just It's just not good enough, I don't think. I mean, the only vaguely fun thing that it does is that it mentions Pam. His sister Pam works in the shop and sells lollipops or something. Yeah, I just don't think it's that good. Polethene Pam, though, it is really good. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. It's just like proper indie vibe to it. I mean, it's, 40 years too soon. It just sounds really cool. Can you see? And they do like a full-on Liverpudlian accent for it, don't they? Can you see Polethene Pam? She's a woman, but she looks like a man. And you're just thinking, man, that's cool. Like, I love stuff like that when you take how am I going to say this? It's like geographical lexicon. That is the most nerdy thing I've ever said in my life. When you take the geographical lexicon of this, what's the word? I'm actually just like an accent is what I was trying to say. An accent, and go really like ham on it. So they've gone so Liverpudlian in this song. There's a really good turn of phrase on it that's like. You could tell that she's attractively built, and it proper goes for it in a better Liverpudlian accent than I can Mr. Muster. Oh, clever. Than I can muster. It's cool though. It's a fun song. I don't think it's. I don't think it's. Well, I do in a way think it's a banger, but it's just part of the medley. If it was, it's 1 minute 20 maybe. If it was longer and they'd made it a longer song and like put it on the first side of the album maybe, but I don't know, it's just filler. A lot of the medley is filler for me, but it's fun, isn't it? It's a fun song. It's certainly not trash. It's better than Me Mr. Mr. Look at him snarling, well, like angry that he's down there. At least you're ahead of Sun King. Polethene Pam, she came in through the bathroom window. It's a fun idea. I mean, I don't really know what to say. What did I write anything down about this? No, all I've written, I've put a massive bracket around Me, Mr. Mustard, Polethene Pam, and bathroom window, and just put 3 vaguely tied together songs. Bit rubbish is what I've written. God, I don't have anything to say about bathroom window. I mean, the picture's fun, but I mean they didn't even make the picture, so that is not going to relevance to what I'm saying. The picture that John Lennon painted of this woman going through the window, it was really good. I just found that on Google Images, this image, so that has no relevance at all. I don't know. It's just, is it a Paul one? This? Let me have a look. I haven't done all this research beforehand. She came in through the bathroom window. I don't want to know the meaning. I just want to talk about what I think the meaning is. Will it have its own wiki too? It does. Alright, before I look at it, I feel like Paul McCartney was at a party and a girl climbed in through the bathroom window and he thought, let's make a song about it. It was inspired by one fan who hung around outside McCartney's home and had broken in through the window. So it wasn't a party, but I mean that's an interesting story though. That someone actually broke into his house or something. Didn't buy a silver spoon, diddle 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 diddle. I don't know what that means either. Silver spoon's one of those things that you find in a lot of like lyrics and songs, isn't it? It's kind of like the same thing as like a broken cup or a black-eyed dog. It's just one of those. I don't know if you'd call it a trope, or just like a phrase that musicians like to use in the same way that like maybe what would you call it, the Wilhelm scream in film. I don't know what the original film that was in was, but there's this scream that you'll hear in like, I don't know, 50 to 60% of all films action films I suppose, or films that have a relevance for it, and it's always kind of like a nod to say, look, we used the Wilhelm scream, not to say that him using silver spoon is a nod to anything, but I don't know, it's just the only interesting thing I can pull from this damn song is that he uses the phrase silver spoon and I can talk about it for 2 minutes. I just don't think it's that good. The backing vocals are fun. And they go up and down. Terrible rendition by myself. But yeah, I mean, I was always gonna sort of trance through these last few songs. They're not as good as the first half. It really is Abbey Road, an album of two halves, and it's like the second half begins. Technically, the second half begins with "Here Comes the Sun." I think is technically the first song of the B side, but for me, it was always started with "You Never Give Me Your Money." But actually, now I think that's no, it does. It does start with "You Never Give Me Money" because it's like foreshadowing of the medley that's going to come. It's it's a medley at the start of a medley, but I don't know when these songs come in, man. It just ruins the whole thing. Carry That Weight. I know, Golden Slumbers. I like Golden Slumbers a lot, actually. It was just a nice break from actually ripping songs to shreds. Golden slumbers in your eyes. Sleep, little darling, do not cry. It's better than Silverhammer. I will sing a lullaby. It reminds me of She's Leaving Home off Sgt. Pepper. It's kind of the same style, isn't it? Again, he really gives it vocally in this, which is great. I may even put it above Oh Darling, because at least Oh Darling's kind of been done before by other musicians. It's not super original, whereas Golden Slumbers has kind of a story to it. I think that makes sense. There's Golden Slumbers called Back to You Never Give Me Your Money, or is that I think it's Carry the Weight. Carry That Weight, sorry. Golden Slumbers is fun. I mean, what did I have to say about it? I don't think I had a whole lot. It's just really great singing by Paul, is what I wrote here. It's just a really nice song, really well put together. You never give me your... I'm singing You Never Give Me Your Money. Golden Slumbers is just nice, isn't it? It's nice. It's got like an orchestra. I don't think it's an orchestra, but it's got good orchestration to it. It's nice strings, nice bit of brass and this and that, and it's one of the nicer songs, isn't it? Again, it could have been, I think Golden Slumbers could have been on the first half. I keep saying they put these songs on the first half, just get rid of these 4 songs here. I mean, I'm covering this with my hand, I don't know why I tried to do that. If you cut these songs out of the album, I mean, it's still good. It might be a little bit shorter, but it's still good. I'm being too mean about the medley. It's not that bad. I couldn't do it better. Carry That Way is filler, back end of filler for that matter. I like the way it goes into it, and the way that it calls back to You Never Give Me Your Money. But I don't know, what's interesting about this is that I'm considering these songs against the rest of the songs on the album, and this is why it's not that good in my mind. This is why Me, Mr. Mustard isn't that good in my mind. If Me, Mr. Mustard was a song on a Daniel Johnston album, for instance, anyone who doesn't know Daniel Johnston, look him up because he's awesome. I did a cover album of some of his songs because he's like one of my heroes, and I'll probably do a tier list. That'll be an interesting thing to do, a tier list of a Daniel Johnston album or something. But you put Me, Mr. Mustard on one of Daniel Johnston's albums, it's one of the best songs on the album. It would be in slaps or banger territory. But you put it against something like the Beatles, these songs, Something, Come Together, Octopuses Garden, Because, and you think, it just doesn't stand up. These songs don't stand up in the same way as those do. And this is why they're so low. I think it's probably interesting, really, that I did Abbey Road as kind of the first tier maker, because there's a lot to sort of unpack here. Like in the picture, very clever. But there's a lot to talk about, because it's there's very clearly really good songs and not very good songs on the album. Wait until we get to Her Majesty, man. Still better than Sun King. The Sun King's become the new Silver Hammer, really getting kicked to the curb. Every opportunity I get, just Sun King, damn Sun King. I think Golden Slumbers deserves to be higher than Oh Darling. I just really like it. Another picture as well is cute. The golden retriever or Labrador or whatever having a little sleep. Golden Slumbers, quite clever. in your eyes until you rise. Finn, the end, I assume. The end is filler, probably high filler, probably better than Polethene Pam, maybe. Why? Let's think. I can't even remember how it goes. How does that song go? It's like, I literally only listened to it about an hour. Well, how long are we into this video? Listened to it maybe an hour and a half ago. Wait, I bet if I just get the lyrics up, I'll be able to figure it out. The end, Beatles, lyrics. Oh, alright, are you gonna be my girl tonight? Man, I nearly hit the... Right, I'll give a bit of background here of what's happening in this room, is that I used to have mic stands, but I sold them, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, because I need money for something. So I don't have any mic stands anymore, so I only have one mic as well. I had 2 condenser mics years ago. I got rid of both of them for a bit of money too. Not for like drugs or anything bad. I think I just wasn't using them, so I thought I'll get rid of them. Well, anyway, now what I'm using, I've just got like some not as good microphones I used to have. I haven't got stands. I've got 2 bongos lined up next to each other, and I'm leaning this mic against it. It's probably why this audio quality is probably not going to be amazing. But I will invest in another mic, because I want to do a lot more of these moving forward. I think I do enjoy talking about music like this. But what was the point I was making? I had these 2 bongos anywhere lined up, and when I went to do that, alright, went to do Ringo's drumming, I went to hit the bongos, and it would have exploded everyone's ears listening to this, because that would have been damn loud. Yeah, the song's cool, isn't it? Because it's like, it just sounds like a jam session. It sounds like something they've kind of gone to the studio a few times and gone, let's do that bit we were doing last week. And they go, yeah, let's do that again. And they've kind of just built up on it and added to it, and it's cool, isn't it? I don't think there was any more to it than that. I think they just jam it out for a bit. Everyone has their bit. Ringo has this little solo, and everyone's kind of doing the best they can with their instruments and showing off again. They're all showing off. Damn Beatles showing off on this album. It's just a fun song. I don't even know if it's filler really, because it is. Every time I listen to it, I think it's great. I think you think, it's called The End. It's the end of the medley. It's just like something or other. But actually, it's a really cool song. It's got a lot going on for it. And it's funny that there's not really anything about it lyrically, so at the end they just throw a little love trope in there. And in the end, the love you make is equal to the love you take. You just imagine John and Paul. What shall we need to put some lyrics in this song. Well, we make it like about love or something. Love? What a silly theme that is. What a silly theme to put to a song. But it's cool. I kind of want to put it in banger. Mainly so I can put it above Silver Hammer. One last kick in the teeth. No, we'll think about it. We'll go over this one more time. Her Majesty's trash. It's better than Sun King. I was thinking maybe it's even better than Me, Mr. Mustard. Quite honestly. No, look how angry he is about that now. We'll keep it here. Her Majesty is just a little ditty about nothing, isn't it? I can recite it to you now, as I do with every single song that we tier list here on my channel. Her Majesty's a very nice girl, she doesn't have a lot to say. Her Majesty's a very nice girl, but she changes from day to day. I wanna tell her I love her a lot, but I gotta get a belly full of wine. Her Majesty's a very nice girl, today I wanna make her mine. Today I'm gonna make her mine, oh yeah, boom. And that's it, that's the whole song. It's actually worse than Sun King, but I refuse. I refuse to put it below Sun King. I've made my point with this song. It's a little ditty, you know. It doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to probably a lot of people. It probably means something to the boys in the Beatles, you know. Like, I don't know, Paul McCartney might like it. He might heard it on something. It might be something he used to do in school. It might be something from Liverpool. It might just be something he wrote when he was... I don't know. But it's just... It doesn't stand up to the rest of the album. It's trash. It's not even filler. It's just a little ditty at the end for fun. And... I don't know. I don't want to call it trash. I've done the same. One of my... which album is it? So the first or the second album I did, I have a little... The album ends, and I give it 10 seconds, and I do this little acoustic... I wouldn't call it like... It's not a ditty. It's like a little song. It's a little instrumental. But yeah, the reasons why you do that, but I just don't know. I just don't think Her Majesty is that good. As a song, and it's 30 seconds long. I mean, you think about... So, like, if the song was a minute and a half, okay, we're looking at Me, Mr. Mustard, and Polethene Pam and stuff like that, okay, but they're kind of, you know, they're kind of fully realised small songs, whereas Her Majesty's a little acoustic and vocal thing, which you can do as a minute and a half. You can do stuff like that, and you can call it a full, track on a pop album for sure. And you've got stuff like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a song to consider it against. So, like, what's that Looney Tunes, that song on Looney Tunes that pops up? Hello, my baby, hello, my honey, hello, my ragtime girl. That is, I mean, that's the same in a way as this. It's just 2-3 little lines, but they make it last a minute and a half, and you consider it a full song at that point. This is just, 30 seconds, 25 seconds long, and it's really nothing. If Paul had taken the song, I'll tell you what, I'll put another verse and chorus to it, maybe a little instrumental in the middle. I'd put it up into filler, maybe even banger above Maxwell. Yeah, it doesn't stand up. Again, like all the trash ones, they just don't stand up against the rest. I'm going to put the end up here. I think it belongs there. I think it does belong above below Maxwell Silverhammer. Yeah, it's a jam sesh, isn't it? Alright, so let's look at this now. We'll do our final synopsis. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments. If you liked what I did here. I'll tell you what, I am a bit tired today. I got home from work, I had my dinner, I listened to this album, now I'm doing this, and it's like 11 o'clock now, and I need to go to bed again. But I've got the weekend coming up, so I'll do one on the weekend, maybe a Beach Boys one, a bit more energy in me. I'll get up dead early, I'll have a little bit of a walk or something, listen to the album, and maybe come into it with. But I don't think I'll be moody or anything, but I definitely could have a little bit more energy this evening. But I like doing this. I've enjoyed doing this. So I'd love to do some more. So if you like it, tell me. Slap some stuff in the comments, and I'll say hi and I'll reply, and we can just talk it out and discuss anything I've said wrong, anything you agree with, any facts that I've misconstrued, and your opinions. If you think that Sun King is the best song on the album, tell me. And I'll sincerely disagree, and we can argue about it. If you come at me and say, well, actually, Paul wrote something, or Paul wrote Here Comes the Sun, then no, I'll just tell you you're wrong. Don't come at me with stuff like that. But if you think, hey, tell you what, though, there's this thing about Polethene Pam that you've not actually considered, that kind of takes it into banger territory, I'll consider it. I won't remake the video, but I'll surely discuss it with you. Okay, that's a good point, or that's a bad point, or whatever. But we can go forward with that. I'd enjoy a little bit back and forth like that. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't know why. All the YouTubers I watch always say that. It helps you grow your channel, I imagine, in some respect. Puts it on people's front pages a little more. So yeah, do it absolutely. If you're gonna do it for anyone, do it for yourself. And you get to see more of this delicious content. Cool, and we're here. We're at the end. And in the end, the love, the tears you make are equal to the tears you take. Something is the best song on the album. Here Comes the Sun is so recognisable. Come Together's more recognised. I really need to rejig this setup. I think I need to do it like that. And Come Together is so blatantly one of the best songs on the album. It's the opening. You don't put one of your worst songs. Not like it's one of the worst songs, but you don't put like just a generic, a good song. You put one of your best songs first, and that's why Come Together is like so high. And it's just more recognisable, I think, than Here Comes the Sun. And I think this works. George Harrison still has the best song on the album. John and George are kind of neck and neck at the top here for sort of best musicians on the album. And then, funnily enough, I'm going to give Ringo a slaps as well. I think he deserves it. For sure. Yeah, I think that's a good slap. You've got Something, Come Together, Here Comes the Sun, She's So Heavy, and Octopuses Garden. And then banger territory, you've got You Never Give Me Your Money. Which I stand by that for sure. I think that's a great song. It's the medley before the medley. I think it really works. Because it's great. Golden Slumbers. Paul's just not. I mean, well, it's still in banger territory for sure. And is any Paul stuff in here? She came in through the bathroom window, and Her Majesty. What we're talking about. But yeah, we've got Golden Slumbers. Oh Darling, something Silver Hammer. Again, I'm not going to talk shit about Silver Hammer anymore. I've been very naughty and nasty towards Paul McCartney, but Silver Hammer's okay. It's a banger, isn't it? It's not filler. I disagree with myself earlier that it's filler. And then the end definitely gets to be in banger. It's just a good jam session, These three, originally it was going to be like that, and carry, it was basically going to be me, Mr. Mustard, and Carry the Weight swapped around. But when I listened to him, I thought, although it would be nice to have these three in a little row together, they're just not. Carry the Weight is better than me, Mr. Mustard. But yeah, they're kind of filler. They're not bad songs, but then they're not great songs either. They're not as good as Maxwell Silverhammer. There we are. We had a full turnaround here. Maxwell Silverhammer in for the win. Me and Mr. Mustard just looking dead, like ferocious down there. Hates it. Hates being in the trash down here with the Queen and Sun God. Man, Sun God, Sun King. See, I hate it so I don't even call it its correct name. Sun King, man. I think that's the way to do this tier list. I think that's a decent way to finish it off. Well, what are we going to do next? I want to do the Bridge Over Troubled Water album by Simon and Garfunkel, or the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds. The more I've listened to the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds, the more I'm inclined to either do it or not do it, because a lot of the songs, they just generally sound they sound really similar to each other, as I was trying to say. But I think that's mainly because of all the sound production that they've got on it. But the songs are actually so very, very different. But it's just themed very well. So I think I need to delve a bit more into that album before I start writing and talking about it. But I could definitely do the Simon and Garfunkel one this weekend, I can imagine. And I'll surely do another Beatles one coming up. Probably do the White Album. If I can fit a White Album in this weekend as well, I'll try that. We'll see where we get with it. But yeah, cheers for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, let me know. I'd love to discuss these things with you. And I've enjoyed this. I will certainly be doing some more. Yeah, thanks for being here. Peace. See you later.